All right, Roger Martin here, Billings, Montana. This is on the Huckabee Show, and this is Candace Owens, and she's always sharp. I'll make some comments on some things that I think need to be emphasized a little more. Go from there.
But to be liberal Democrats, why are they wrong?
I very deeply believe that there is tons of proof to say that Black Americans, once we were physical slaves of a Democrat Party, and I say of a Democrat Party because at the time of the Civil War, not a single Republican in this country owned a slave. And now we have ideological slavery where they've tricked us into believing that we have freedom when really they've gotten us addicted to government handouts. We see the breakdown of family, the climb of illiteracy rates, the climb of abortion rates, all of this harming the Black family.
Again, this is making them addictive to social programs, harming the Black family, and especially keeping them away from conservative values and Republicans.
So, I mean, I'm making a case here that Black Americans need to wake up and once again escape the Democrat plantations.
You were once
Democrat plantations, that's a term she's created. Now, he's going to talk about this. She once was Democrat and why she got changed around. And this is important to understand how education has brainwashed Democrats and liberals to thinking one way. And when universities most of the universities do not allow equal time for conservatives, which is bad news. And it should be stopped. Funding should be stopped if they don't allow equal time.
a Democrat yourself. What was that turning point, the light that came on for you?
What really happened for me was that after I got out of all the brainwashing from our education system, which plays a
Brainwashing in all our education system, quote unquote.
big role in brainwashing Black Americans against our own best interests, I started to ask myself, is it possible that racism is now being used as a theme to turn Black people into single-issue voters? And of course, the answer is yes. They keep us emotional so that we don't think rationally about the fact that their policies just don't serve us.
They keep us emotional so we don't think rational about how their policies don't serve us, quote unquote. Wow. She's a sharp gal.
The movement that you created, Blexit, very clever, coming kind of after the Brexit movement of the UK, but it really is about Black Americans exiting the Democrat Party. I would say not just to become Republican, but to become more independent-minded, to think for themselves and to ask, why do I support this person, or why do I not support this person? What kind of reaction did you have from Black Americans when you started Blexit?
You know, before I started Blexit, it was really ugly territory. I was called all the typical names that a Black conservative gets called when you have the audacity to think for yourself, and not just think for yourself, but to speak out for yourself. But then something started to change, and there's something changing in this country, and I've called this early. Black Americans are waking up. And they started being grateful to me. When I walk down the street, you know, I live here in D.C., Black Americans come up to me and they say, thank you so much for waking me up. They're realizing that they've been sleeping at the wheel. And really what I'm saying is just to embrace your futures. You can be in the driving seat of your future.
Let's talk about the fact that the Democratic Party is supposed to be the party of diversity, but right now there's not a single Black person on that Democrat stage. Kamala Harris is gone. Cory Booker didn't qualify for the most recent debate that's coming up. So all in the name of diversity, there just isn't a lot of diversity. I don't understand why people can't look at that and say, maybe there's something not quite right here.
You know what they actually hate? Diversity of thought. And I'm a great example of that. They routinely attack.
Hate diversity of thought. Oof. She says it like it is.
Me, and they try to assassinate my character, as they do to all Black conservatives that came before me. You'll see people use the excuse, you know, Candace, you get attacked because you support Trump, and I don't like Trump. I say, really? Then what was the excuse when it was Condoleezza Rice, right? What was the excuse when it was Clarence Thomas? What about every other Black conservative that came before me? It's because they do not like diversity of thought. They think that they own Black ideas, and they're about to be in for a rude awakening, because I predict that in 2020, the Black vote will swing 20 points in the other direction.
Speaking of the Black vote, big election next year for president. President Trump 4 years ago said, what have you got to lose? And he challenged African Americans to vote for him because he said the policies of the Democrats have led them to very high unemployment rates. Recent numbers have come out just this week. Best numbers ever of employment in the past 50 years, best ever for African Americans. I mean, shouldn't many black Americans wake up and say, wait a minute, I may not like this president, what he says or what he does or the way he says it, but by golly, it's worked out a lot better for me than the policies of the left.
We are thinking that, and that's why you're seeing these polls. And think about how amazing these polls are. Over the last 3 years, the left has called everything racist. They could not have said the word racist more. I think somebody calculated that over 1 week, CNN had said the word racist something like 1,200 times, which is pointedly ridiculous. I read an article accusing oxygen of being racist and harming black and Hispanic Americans. You know what's happening? The left is again overplaying their hand.
I'm anxious to find out, have you been invited to be on MSNBC or CNN to talk about your book, Blackout? Are they going to let you on and really practice some level of diversity of thought?
I'm going to guess no, hope yes. They don't tend to let me on those networks because, of course, I make a lot of sense, and they can't use their normal...
She's got a book going on called Blackout. Interesting. Interesting. Read her book. Wake up.
Tricks, right? Usually they shut down people by saying, oh, you don't understand because you aren't black, or you don't understand because you're a man. Well, of course, I sit at the top of the progressive stack. They've created a world where you can't really insult a black American woman that's out speaking about her freedom. So they don't want to put me in the room because I expose them for what they are, and what they are is a bunch of frauds.
You've spoken at over 60 college campuses. I know sometimes it's been controversial. You've had the protesters. But do you see any hope on the university campuses of America that maybe at least some of these students are waking up, that they're being overwhelmed with nonsense? And is there hope? Give me some. I'm asking you, I think. Is there hope on the academic front out there?
There is hope. I see hope every single day. And why I love to go to these college campuses is because I like when they attack me. I like to expose them. We live in the age of social media. I have a ton of followers. If conservatives are so hateful, why aren't we the ones showing up trying to shut down liberal speech? It always works the other way. You see, if I see someone that I disagree with, I want to debate them. I want to hand them a megaphone because I believe that my ideas are better.
It's a great way for us to conclude a wonderful conversation. Candace, thank you so much. Delighted to have you back on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now you can...
That's great. Blackout. Get her book. Blackout. Calling for blackout of a Democratic Party. Wow. What a powerful, sharp, young, conservative gal. Black gal. Way to go, Candace.